everyone, so I wanted to share some of my experiences and videos that I took from a show I went to the other evening, the Decibel magazine tour, which featured Mayhem on their 40th anniversary set list in the US, the band Mortiis, or the artist Mortiis here, you see, and then Imperial Triumphant and New Skeletal Faces. So yeah, let's talk about it a little bit. So the first band, New Skeletal Faces, I was the least familiar with, hadn't really taken the time to look them up ahead of time, and I was kind of expecting them to be wearing masks, but they, kind of had Motley Crue Wasp sort of look to them with kind of a black and rollish sort of sound. It was cool, but I think I was hyped enough for all the other artists that I was a little bit more focused on that. So maybe, they would be one that I'm not gonna seek them out, after the show, but if they're on something else that I see, I would be willing to check them out again with the foresight of knowing what to expect. So yeah, I think overall it was cool, but let's talk about the other stuff. So Imperial Triumphant, I think this is like my fourth, maybe fifth time seeing them, and I've been just impressed every time and always try to encourage people to see them live. I believe the first time that I saw them live was maybe 2017 or 2018, so it has been a minute now, and they've put out several albums since my band Oubliette played with them here in Nashville, and then also on a festival called Louisville Death Fest. I'll have to tell you guys that story at some point, but yeah, it was pretty wild. They did a great job with their set. They have a new album that's coming out as of now. It's coming out this Friday here in a couple days, but it was already on sale at the show there. So I actually just picked up a couple of patches from them. In fact, I've got them right here. I got that one, and then I got like the medium size logo of this. It's like kind of a much larger size there too. I thought that they did great. They did a bass solo, which I've seen them do in a headline set before, but in an opening set and then coming out into the crowd and kind of wandering around. Nice hearing some of these new songs that I have not heard before, and then a few of the songs like Atomic Age and stuff that I had heard, but and seen before, but it was like, oh yeah, it's cool when you get to hear something like that. I'll talk about Mortiis, who is the troll that used to be in Emperor back in the day, and has had a very long solo career releasing music and selling all kinds of cool merch. He's got a lot of stuff out there that's really cool, and it was my first time seeing him. Alex Ezekiel, the other guitar player in a Fuchsia's band that I played in for quite a long time, is I think, a pretty certifiable Mortiis super fan. So we had kind of like a box area that he had gotten, and we're able to look over the stage, which is the angle that you're seeing. I mean, on record, you get the idea, you hear it, but for it to be recreated live like that. To the side there, I guess, was a new addition, because Alex has seen Mortiis several times and never had a second person on the stage with him, so it seemed like that was kind of a special. He played for less than an hour, but played, I guess, what would have been like bits of several of his tracks there. So yeah, it was really cool, and we got to meet him afterwards and talk to him, and yeah, that was nice. Mayhem. This was my 6th time seeing them, so I knew what to expect. Twice on the De Mistris US tour that they did, and then the most recent Cannibal Corpse tour that they were on as well. So I knew what to expect with all this stuff, and I feel like that Cannibal Corpse set, if any of you guys saw that, this was kind of an extension of that. A lot of similar songs in same feel, where they're going from their most modern release, back through and ending with Death Crush and, some of their classic stuff there, what people would consider, and, costume changes in between. The 2-hour version of it instead of the 1-hour version. So everything was extended, and as far as like the releases that they covered, they played songs that I've always wanted to hear them play but not been able to. Songs like Chimera, View from Nihil. Wanted to hear, and I felt like they did really good jobs with them. And it was interesting. I wanted to talk a little bit, not just about, oh, how much fun it was and stuff, but also, some of the gear aspect of it too. Many of you who watch my channel know that I'm critical of neural DSP, quad cortex processors, and both guitar players, because of the angle we were at for a lot of it, I could see both of them had them on the stage and very minimal setups. Some kind of power amp. I think it was a Harley Benton, at least on Talok's side of the stage, which we were on, which probably powering a cab that was off the stage. There were no cabs on the stage, even bass cabs that I could see. Right next to the speaker there, and it did sound really good. They're on the side. I don't think they were switching a lot of different sounds. I don't think they had like sounds for the modern stuff and then different kind of more lo-fi sounds for the older stuff. You could easily do that sort of stuff with that technology, but I get the feeling they were just kind of, had like, here's my rhythm sound, here's a solo sound, here's kind of a more drony type sound. I would be really curious to know exactly in detail, how many sounds they use, what they use, and, how they're built. I don't think there would be much surprises as far as the amplifiers, probably PB5150 replications or something, based on that. Every time that I have seen Hellhammer, or, seen them play, I've not had a good, clear shot of Hellhammer to, like, actually be able to see what he's doing back there, so being able to have that angle and kind of focus back there was really cool. And there was even one part in the song, Eliminate, Illuminate, where it's like a very long, like, almost 9-minute song, and starts off very slow, builds to this incredibly fast portion in the middle, and then, kind of plays out there. And it's cool. It takes up a lot of time, but it's a cool song. And right at like a crucial part in the blasting of the fastest part in that song, Hellhammer actually dropped a drumstick, which you can see in the video real quick. And he recovers very quickly. But, I can't hold anything like that against any player, because they're playing at super high levels, and mistakes are necessary. Mistakes happen and they're unavoidable, but it's how you recover from them that really makes a difference. And I feel like he recovered from it like a pro, and you see he had someone there who was paying very close attention that helped to recover there. So I'm glad that I was able to capture that little thing, even if it wasn't, didn't hit the way that I was really hoping for it to. There, I almost felt like that was more memorable, to be able to see that.
Vi er ikke en vanlig folk, vi frykter døden.
Lots of cool costume changes. They kind of had like more what you would expect from them, like nowadays in the beginning. Then Attila kind of changed his clothes when they went into the like Chimera uh, and Grand Declaration of War era stuff. And then, of course, they all changed outfits whenever they went to the De Maestris stuff. And then they came out again a little bit more simplified with the Death Crush era stuff that they did there. But yeah, man, so good. And I gotta say, like, just as the way that they were playing this stuff too. I've seen them before play not necessarily shorter sets, an hour long set in most cases there, but it really felt like they were pacing themselves differently for this 2 hour set. This is also the second date of I don't know, 3 weeks almost of touring for them and doing this almost every night. So I totally get them having to conserve their energy, not just for the length of the tour, but just for the night, even just to be able to still have stamina when it came to the Death Crush, De Maestris, uh, era stuff there. Because man, they, for a band 40 years on, and the ages that they're at, and everything, they really just didn't even seem phased, by it. They didn't seem like they were that tired. They seemed like they were taking their time and working, but they were also engaging with the crowd. They were not shoegazing by any means or anything. And just to point out too, one thing, I've appreciated this ever since I first saw Mayhem live. Necro Butcher's role in the band, because I feel like maybe he might not get as much credit other than the fact that, oh yeah, he's been in the band for this long, but I can say that, like, he is a very important part of the live show and communicating with the crowd. And yeah, he's not a big guy, but he's got a big presence, for sure. And very, kind of menacing almost, but I'm sure he's an approachable and, in most cases, kind of guy. And just wanted to throw that out there, that I'm a Necro Butcher fan in his role in the band and what he does live with them, especially. The only thing that I can really complain about, and it has nothing to do with any of those factors, the band, the tour, the venue, anything like that, but it's just Nashville. Nashville just being Nashville, the way that it is. The size of the venue that they had, and as beautiful as it was, and I know that they enjoyed it and everything, it could have been held in a room that could have held maybe 200 less people or so and still been fine. Um, Nashville just doesn't turn out, on weekdays, and will think of lame reasons to not leave the house. There were a lot of younger musicians that I know that were there that looked like they were having a great time, but there was a lot of people that, and I know people go to work. Shows are expensive, going out and planning work off either the day of or the day after can definitely be a factor, but. I really felt like this was a show that we weren't going to get until they had to cancel their couple 40th anniversary shows they were going to do in the US last year, and then rebooked this tour, and that's what they were doing on it. So we weren't going to get this show, and then we got it, and I feel like people just didn't plan ahead, for it, which, is typical for, I'm sure, many other places, but someone complained that, it's like, oh, well, if it had been on a weekend, I would have gone. But they're going to save the weekend dates for the good cities. If Nashville doesn't show out more on weekdays and show that we will, be enthusiastic and, do those sorts of things, we can't expect to be getting priority dates on big tours when they have other cities that are going to do better within a 4 or 5 hour drive. So just some things to consider there. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you were there, share some of your thoughts. I would encourage anybody that has not seen any of these artists yet before to definitely check this out. There's still going to be some dates on the tour. If anything is within driving distance, I would highly recommend it. I would go see this show again tonight, if I had the means and abilities to get around like that. But I mean, because I would really just to see it again. I don't want to care if anything is different at all. Another detail I wanted to talk about was just the feel that the band themselves had going on. I would really be curious to know if they were actually playing to a click track or if Hellhammer was just in control of it the whole way there, because I always assume when a band is playing to a video that's going along with them, they're playing to some kind of a click track that's keeping the lights and everything else that might be triggered going on, at the right times there. But there were really moments where it felt like they were kind of flexing a little bit, and flexing in the sense of speeding up, slowing down, mostly slowing down the tempo, to be honest, because they're already playing so fast. Leaving little extra breaks, to let people go, like in between. Curious to know what level of pre-recorded tracks, click tracks, versus just, going at it. And they must have had if that was the case, that they were just playing by ear, they must have had a really good mix on stage, because all of them were focused just out. There was not a ton of back and forth visual communication between the musicians themselves. I mean, they were interacting with each other, doing stuff for the crowd, but keeping their eyes, pretty well straightforward the whole time. So these are details that I pay attention to that really help to highlight that, even though I've seen this lineup every time that I have seen the band, it really seemed like this past year of them playing this set across the world has really turned them into a fine, running machine that they're able to do. I mean, it was just it was very cool. It was impressive, and like I say, it was nice to see musicians that their age, that are still just unfazed by this stuff.